Hi, my name is Kevin Griffin. I'm an architect with Chariot Solutions, and this is the first in hopefully a series of screencasts where I'll demonstrate some how-tos and some useful information in terms of iPhone development. For this first one, we're going to jump into a fairly specific example, and this example grew out of recently having to create a number of applications, all of which required some form of registration process. And what we found is that the users already had this information about themselves in their iPhones, more specifically in their address book. So what we're going to do is allow the user to select themselves from their address book and fill in the form. This is our registration form. It's pretty simple. 3 fields, first name, last name, and email. And then we've just got a button to allow them to select autofill from contact. The first thing we want to do is add the address book frameworks. You can do that under add existing frameworks and select both the address book and the address book UI framework because we're going to be presenting the native address book. Okay, so let's tackle the registration header file. We're going to need to import the address book UI headers, and we're also going to need to implement the AB people picker navigation controller delegate, which is going to allow us to have some control over what happens when the user selects a contact. So let's go ahead and add that in. And we're also going to need an instance of the AB people picker navigation controller. That will be the address book UI that the user will interact with. There are 3 required methods when implementing the AB People Picker Navigation Controller Delegate Protocol, and those can be found in the Apple reference docs, and I'll post that with the show notes. It's going to be easier to copy the methods from there than it is to try and type them out, and you'll save yourself about a quarter of an hour as well. So this first method is the People Picker Navigation Controller should continue after selecting person, and this is the action that's called when a user selects an address out of the address book. And at this point, it's down to you to extract the information that you want from that address book record. In this case, we're just going to take the first name, the last name, and their first email address that comes up. Things to note here as we dive into the address book API and we're copying values from the address book is that the address book is a collection of C functions. There are no Objective-C objects being returned to us. Although I guess you can think of the AB record ref as kind of a dictionary where there are properties that have keys and values. And the first name and last name are obviously simple key values. One key is maps to one value. With the emails, when you ask for the email key, you're actually getting back a multi-value ref, which means you obviously have multiple entries in that, and you have to go through and select which one you want. In this case, we're just pulling out the first one. The only thing to note here is the dismiss modal view controller is in reference to the modal view in which the address picker appeared in. And the return no is we don't want to follow through to the default action is to go to the details of the contact when you select a contact from the address book. And we don't want that to happen. We just want to close the address book, take our values, and go back to our application. There are 2 address book delegate methods that still need to be implemented. First is People Picker Navigation Controller should continue after selecting person, property, identifier. And all this one is saying is that after you've selected someone in your address book and you've gone to the details screen and you click on the phone number or the email, then it follows the default action, which is either to dial the phone number or to open up the mail app to send email. And we don't even use this screen, so we can just say return yes for this guy. We're not going to use him anyway because we're not displaying the detail screen. So, and the second one is the People Picker Navigation Controller to cancel. All we want to do here is self dismiss modal view. Yes. And that's just going to hide the address picker if someone presses the cancel button. So now I've implemented our delegate methods, and we know that when we select a contact from the address book, we're going to pull out their first name, their last name, their first email address, apply those to the form. Now we just need a way to present this address book to the user. So we're going to create a people picker. We don't already have one, which we don't the first time through. So we need an AB people picker navigation controller. And then we're going to have to set the people picker delegate to ourselves. Those are the methods that we just implemented. And then we want to present that to the user. So we say present modal view controller people picker. Yes, we'll animate it. And then we should be good to go. So I've implemented our little example. We just need to take it for a test drive. Fire up the iPhone simulator. And we have our first name, last name, and email fields. Bit of tedious user input. So autofill from contact. I have myself in my address book, which is fortunate. So when I select myself, it comes back and the form has been populated with my details, making that registration process just that little bit easier.